Alright guys, so we have a pretty big video here today, a lot of different stuff to talk about, all revolving around MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. I'll just start off with the main statement here, and then we'll go through a bunch of questions I have, what this means, and what are the chances of actually seeing this occur. So here's the thing, it's been found, it's here within the code of MW2 Campaign Remastered. There are specific references and specific lines of code that we'll go through within this video that are MW2 Multiplayer Remastered lines of code. So MW2 Multiplayer Remastered is in the code. It's here, it's been found, it's in the Campaign Remastered code. If you guys saw my video yesterday, I pretty much said that, okay, the Xbox One and PC versions of MW2 Campaign Remastered are being released tomorrow, April 30th on Thursday, and you could preload them and start beginning to download them. And obviously every time there's a PC update or a PC game for Call of Duty, data miners go in and they go through the PC files and they try to figure out all the different lines of code. This is how Warzone was originally leaked. The Season 2 update, the 60GB update, had Warzone assets. The PC data miners went through that Season 2 update and they found all of the lines of code for Warzone. It's pretty much the same situation here. People were able to download the PC version of MW2 Campaign Remastered. The data miners went through and they found a bunch of lines of code to MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, and actually also MW2 Spec Ops Remastered as well. So we're gonna go through a bunch of the lines of code within this video, and before we go through everything, definitely leave a like if you want MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. I want to see how many people are actually hyped and are actually for MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, and also comment below MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. I just want to see the scale of people, because I feel like sometimes I don't know if people really want this or if they're just sort of so-so about it, and I've actually seen some hate comments like, oh, I don't want this. So I don't know, definitely show your support if you want MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, but don't get too hyped. Obviously, you guys know when I do these videos, if you don't know my channel, I mean, I try to go through the leaks, but I try to be a realist as well. So here's the realist side of things in me. We're gonna go through the leaks, and these leaks say that MW2 Multiplayer Remastered is a thing, but keep in mind that doesn't necessarily mean that Activision is actually going to release MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. I mean, it could be a possibility that the assets for MW2 Multiplayer Remastered are in this game, but those are just the assets. Those are just the lines of code. So, you know, a possibility is that they planned on releasing MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, but they decided to scrap it and not release it, and here are the remnants of what was supposed to be MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. That would obviously suck, but you guys have to keep in mind there's a good chance that's the case, but we'll go through that again. Let's go through the lines of code, the leaks for MW2 Multiplayer Remastered within this game. So the first thing here is pretty general, but it's clearly multiplayer. Continue to multiplayer. That's a line of code within this game. I mean, that's obviously something that you see at the beginning of the main menu. Nothing much really to talk about there, but continue to multiplayer doesn't relate to anything else. I mean, it's not like it could relate to an asset within campaign or within one of the specific missions. That's pretty clearly saying continue to multiplayer. Next thing here is also very specific to multiplayer. We have prestige level, total XP experience, wins, losses, and win streak. A bunch of specific parameters within multiplayer, stuff that you would find within multiplayer. So pretty interesting there. We have some more code here. Team, allies, carrying bomb, custom classes. Again, I mean, we're getting to the point where there's a lot of different specific references to multiplayer that it's just hard to ignore that this stuff isn't for a multiplayer in MW2. Some more stuff here with leaderboards. You have leaderboard refresh. We have a code that says unranked as well, and that could mean that, okay, there's an unranked version of the leaderboards, but if there was only one leaderboard within the game, they wouldn't just say unranked. Usually if they're saying unranked, that means there's another version of leaderboards which would be ranked. So is that saying that MW2 Multiplayer Remastered was supposed to have ranked play? That's pretty interesting as well, and that may have been a change that they added to the game, which I feel like would have been a good change. I know the whole issue, at least the leaks were saying, was that MW2 Multiplayer Remastered was too different to the original, but you know, a ranked version of MW2 Multiplayer is different from the original, but I feel like that would have been pretty interesting. And then the last thing here is leaderboard position. That's pretty self-explanatory, leaderboard position, where you are in the leaderboard. More stuff here, talking about multiplayer. We have monthly friends being seen within the code, current player count as well, which you know, a lot of people have been saying, and I'm starting to think as well, these are definitely assets for multiplayer within MW2 Campaign Remastered, but current player count is something we haven't seen within Call of Duty in a pretty long time. I mean, they stopped displaying the current player count within the games for, I mean, I don't even know how many years it's been since I've seen one, and that could mean that these are assets, maybe not even from MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, but these are assets from like the original MW2 multiplayer in 2009, and they've just been transferred over to MW2 Campaign Remastered for some sort of reason. I mean, obviously, again, I don't know for sure. I'm just looking at the lines of code here, and I'm just thinking, you know what, that's a decent possibility, you know, because we really have to go through all of the different possibilities here, so definitely keep that in mind. Next thing here, we have LB_GB Total XP LTK. I don't know what the LBGB LTK is, maybe leaderboards or some other lobby leaderboard type of thing. And then we have WIDG, which I saw is widgets, apparently, lobby arrow, and that's actually how you sort of navigate throughout the lobby in the game. So very interesting stuff there. Another one, online game offset. We have allies char, and then it gets cut off. People were saying that it's you know, allies maybe capturing Charlie or something with the Charlie flag domination, so that's obviously something there. Assist fuel box, you know, again, these are lines of code, so they obviously have different purposes for the actual game. The lines of code just give us an idea as to what the actual in-game mechanic is, what it's trying to explain. So who knows what assist fuel box could mean, but it obviously means something. Another thing here, weapon uncloaked H2 weapon camo. I'm not trying to figure out exactly what this stuff means, but I see weapon camo here. Obviously, it's some stuff from multiplayer. That's pretty much what I'm getting at here. And here's some stuff about Spec Ops. We have Special Ops F Hidden, H1 Kill House, AM Cargo Ship. Those are actually some stuff from COD 4, and there's a bunch of different talk about some of the assets from COD 4 or Modern Warfare Remastered being within this game. That could just be for campaign assets, because you guys know, you know, MW2 Campaign Remastered uses pretty much the same engine as Modern Warfare Remastered, COD 4 Modern Warfare Remastered, that is, and they go through, like, the gun sounds are pretty similar. It just looks like COD 4 Modern Warfare Remastered just with the MW2 campaign, so they may have used those missions for that reason. But there's also some talk about a bundle releasing very soon, and we've been talking about a bundle for a while now of all the Modern Warfare games remastered, and that was, you know, supposed to release before or at the launch of Modern Warfare 2019, and that obviously didn't happen. But, you know, that's a whole different situation here. But I just wanted to show you guys that it is within the code. And obviously Spec Ops, we haven't really talked much about Spec Ops. It's in the code as well, and, you know, Spec Ops is a decent deal for a lot of people. Not the main thing. I think most people care about multiplayer, but Spec Ops is there, so are they going to plan on releasing that? I don't know. And the last thing I have for you guys, MP_bonus maps for_DLC. So does that mean they had DLC maps planned for MW2 Multiplayer Remastered? I mean, I'm guessing if they were planning on releasing MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, why not, you know, continue to support it and bring DLC maps to the game? So there are probably other lines of code for MW2 Multiplayer Remastered within MW2 Campaign Remastered, but I think the main conclusion here is that, you know, MW2 Multiplayer Remastered is in the code. Yes, like that's a fact. It's in the code. It's there. So Prestigious Key is responding to Eric here on Twitter. Eric was talking about the leaks and different stuff, and he pretty much doesn't like that it's all being leaked, because he's just saying, like, okay, these are just assets. This doesn't mean anything. Prestigious Key is responding, I think we are just looking at remnants of what was supposed to be. It is exciting, but more depressing than anything. So I think that's the final conclusion of this video. Like, it's a fact that MW2 Multiplayer Remastered was found within the code. That's just a fact. It's there. So I think we have ample evidence to say now that, you know, yes, they were working on MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. At least that's what it seems like here. But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean they're going to release anything. And I think another possibility, as I mentioned in the middle of this video, that a lot of these assets may just be from the original Modern Warfare 2 in 2009. It wouldn't make sense. It would be a little weird as to why MW2 Multiplayer 2009 assets that that talk about prestige level, carrying bombs, custom classes, leaderboards, weapon unlocks, weapon camo, the player count. Like, I don't know why all of those assets from the original MW2 multiplayer in 2009, why everything would be needed to make MW2 campaign remastered. That's a question I have. I don't really know, but I think at the end of this year, it's good to know that, you know, MW2 multiplayer assets are there. I guess they worked on it at some point, at least according to the leaks, but like I said again, this doesn't mean that it's going to release. It just gives us confirmation that it's in the game, it's in the code, but will it actually release? I don't know. I mean, I don't think anyone truly really knows what the deal is here, but this definitely was an interesting development, and we'll just have to see what comes next for MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. So everyone, leave a comment below if you made it to the end of the video. MW2, again, it's greatly appreciated. If you watched the entirety of yesterday's video and then the entirety of today's video, that's pretty crazy. You probably know too much about MW2 Multiplayer Remastered at this point, but it's very interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, and like I said again, we'll just have to see what happens next, and if we get more information, I'll definitely update you guys. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.